What if the thing that's slowly burning you out isn't the workload? It isn't the behavior challenges. It isn't even the pressure from leadership above. It's the exhausting performance of pretending you have all the answers. I spent years doing exactly that, feeling like an imposter, walking into school every day carrying the weight of questions I was too afraid to ask, problems I was too proud to admit I didn't know how to solve, terrified that if anyone discovered I didn't have it together, it would mean I was weak. I wasn't good enough. If any part of that sounds familiar, stay with me. In this video, I'm going to share why that performance is actually costing you far more than you realize. I'm going to share what research and some very wise thinkers tell us about a different, far less exhausting way forward. My name is Rowena Hicks. I worked in education for over 30 years in roles I loved. I'm now a coach, an author, and I have a podcast to help all educators, nurseries, schools, and colleges work a way of not just surviving but thriving. And I've worked with hundreds of educators now. And this topic sits right at the heart of so much of what keeps us stuck, whatever our role. I want to take you back to a version of me who was running on anxiety. I didn't even notice it. Every single day, I would move around school with this quiet, constant fear humming in the background. What if someone finds out? What if they discover that I don't have all the answers they expect me to have? And I was certain, completely certain, that if that happened, I'd be seen as weak, as a failure, as someone who simply wasn't up to the job. So I built a wall, a very convincing wall. I looked capable. I probably was quite capable. I sounded confident. And behind it, I was struggling in silence. What I didn't realize at the time was that this wall wasn't protecting me. I thought it was, but actually it was isolating me from my colleagues, from honest conversations, from the support that was actually available, and ultimately from myself. And here's the painful irony. The very thing I thought was keeping me safe was quietly accelerating my burnout. Here's what I know that I desperately wish I'd known then. I've learned a lot from Brené Brown, and her research into vulnerability shows clearly that the people we experience as the most trustworthy, the most courageous leaders, are not the ones who appear invincible. They're the ones willing to say, I don't know. I need help. I got that wrong. And leadership thinker John C. Maxwell makes a point that stops me every time I hear it, and I go back to it. Because he argues that a leader who pretends to have all the answers actually erodes the confidence of their team. That's because it creates a culture where no one else feels safe admitting they don't know either. Vulnerability from the top gives everyone else permission to be human. Think about the leaders you've most respected in your career. I'd be willing to bet that what made them exceptional wasn't that they had every answer. It was that they were honest, curious, safe to be around. What if that was the version of yourself you were building towards? Not the one with all the answers, but the one people actually trust. Let's be really honest about what the performance invincibility costs us. Costs us energy, enormous amounts of energy. Energy that could be going into your teaching, your leadership, your relationships, maybe your own recovery at the end of the day. It also costs us connection because when we're building a wall, we can't receive support even when it's offered. It's as if we've made ourselves unreachable. And critically, it costs us our well-being because pretending is profoundly dysregulating. Our bodies cannot maintain a performance and stay calm at the same time. That low-level anxiety I described earlier, that's a nervous system under sustained pressure. And over time, that leads to exhaustion, disconnection, burnout. Understanding your own value truly understanding is what makes it possible to step out from behind the wall. Because when you genuinely know what you bring, you no longer need the performance to protect you. So, what does this actually look like in practice? This isn't about suddenly declaring all your uncertainties in a staff meeting on Monday morning. Please don't do that. This is about starting small. It starts with one trusted colleague and one honest conversation. It might sound something like, I've been finding this really hard and I'd value your thoughts. That's not weakness. That's strength. It's leadership. I worked with a school leader not long ago. Let's call her Emily. She'd been running on fumes for many years. She was convinced she had to appear strong for her team at all costs. The moment she allowed herself to even be slightly more honest with a trusted member of her senior team, something changed. And it didn't just change for her, but it changed for the culture around her. It was as if a ripple effect, something changed. Honest conversations started happening, and then absence started to drop, and the team felt differently. One of the most powerful things you can do as a teacher, a leader, a nursery practitioner, manager right now is to begin practicing what I call reflective honesty. It's noticing where you're pretending and asking yourself, what would it feel like to put that down just for a moment? It won't feel comfortable at first. Courage rarely does, but it's the very beginning of something very different. If this resonates with you, I'd love to know. Perhaps drop a comment and tell me, where in your role are you currently pretending? Because sometimes just naming it is the first step. If you're ready to go deeper into this, to genuinely understand your own value, and to start leading and teaching from that place, I'd encourage you to have a look at my 40-day journal, because that way we can start to shift our habits and our mindsets. But most of all today, start to think about yourself. Where are your thoughts going? Are you taking care of yourself? Are you valuing you just because of who you are and what you bring? Hope you've enjoyed today. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.